This is going to be a 30-minute guided meditation. And so, as always, when we sit down to meditate, we're committing to being still in body, letting the body be still, letting it settle into a comfortable, natural posture. And beginning by allowing awareness to sort of descend down from the mind, down through the heart, into the lower belly. Awareness is just resting with the breath in the lower part of the belly. And then, like all the meditations, the attitude is an attitude of allowing all of your experience, no matter what it is, to simply be the way it is. To not grasp at positive experiences, to not push away negative experiences, to not grasp at the mind and indulge in thought, and also to not push the mind away, trying to stop the movement of thought. And just simply allowing every part of experience to be as it is, naturally. And you notice that as you allow your experience to be as it is, that there's a settling that happens. That the mind begins to settle. The body calms. And so by allowing attention to rest with the breath at the beginning of meditation, it gathers the attention out of the mind, and your breath becomes an alternative resource, an alternative point of focus. Because in meditation, we're not trying to figure anything out. We're letting go of the entire analytical process. This is the discipline of meditation, to know that this is not the time to figure anything out, to think anything through. We're just letting go of all that. And at the same time, you're not trying to push your mind away. You're not trying to forcibly suppress any thought. just allowing your experience, whatever it may be, to be the way it is. And throughout this meditation, if you should ever get distracted or lost in a thought, just with great simpleness and gentleness and ease, just return attention to the breath down into the lower belly. It's very important that this is done with ease and with calm, not with frustration or judgment. And as you settle more and more deeply, at some point, just very naturally, and without getting lost in the mind, your awareness won't be holding to the breath so much, and you start to feel that there's a space of calm and quiet all around the breath. In fact, there's a space of openness and calm all around every experience that arises. It's as if there's this aware space in which all of your experience arises and passes away. And you begin to notice this aware space, this openness. And you just allow yourself to feel into that openness, into that aware space. You allow yourself to feel your way into it. The space of awareness is the context in which all of the content of experience arises and passes away. The content of thought, of feeling, sensation, even the various impressions arise within the space of awareness and then pass away. The content is temporary. It comes into existence for a moment and then disappears. The greater context of awareness, of consciousness itself, always remains. You can't grasp at it because the only thing you can grasp at is part of the content, a thought, an experience, a sensation. But you can't grasp at that aware space in which all the content happens. It's just there. And you're just recognizing it, sensing it. And you're simply and intuitively feeling your way into your own consciousness, into the context of all experience. You can't grasp it, but you can sense it, intuitively sense in to that conscious space that's ever present. It has no form, no shape, no color. It has no name, no history, no past. And yet the context, which is consciousness or awareness itself, is ever present. Just allowing yourself to be that, not to hold it or grasp for awareness, but just sense your way into being that. And notice how that space is naturally aware, naturally conscious. And notice how each moment of experience occurs completely spontaneously, as if it just pops up out of nowhere. Even if a thought occurs, it occurs totally and spontaneously, like a sensation or a feeling or a sound. They all just arise, all by themselves, and they all pass away, totally spontaneously. So you notice the utter spontaneity of every part of your experience, every aspect of perception. Even getting lost in a thought happens spontaneously, as does realizing that you've been lost in thought. It just spontaneously occurs to you that you've been lost in a thought. There's no time at which you decide to have your thoughts. They just arise, or they don't. And so you naturally relinquish all attempts to attain something. You can just let go of the very attempt to attain any state, any experience. You can let go of trying to hold on to anything, to any experience. There is nothing to hold on to, and there is nothing to attain. Notice how the underpinning of this moment is already at peace, already quiet, already consciously aware. All these things are already present. They're natural aspects of the context, the backdrop of consciousness. We don't need to grasp at the peace. We don't need to grasp at the silence. We don't need to try to hold on to consciousness, to awareness. All these things are a completely naturally occurring aspect of consciousness itself. And if you should get a little distracted in your mind, remember that the breath is always there. It's just that concrete alternative focus takes consciousness out of the distraction of the mind. And you just notice the breath for a moment. And then you sense the space around the breath and the consciousness that notices all this. And you may notice that consciousness itself, awareness itself, is in a constant state of allowing this moment to be exactly as it is. Even if your mind would begin to struggle against this moment, awareness would allow that struggle to happen. There's no opposition in this greater context of being. And in experiencing this, your whole being relaxes, moves into a deeper, quieter space. And without trying to do anything, just very quietly ask yourself, whisper to yourself, can I let go just a little bit more than this? Don't even try to let go, just ask, can I let go just a little bit more? And then watch what happens. You're not trying to do anything. And finally, you're just letting go of the feeling of being the meditator, that last bit of identity, that feeling that you are the one that's doing all this. See that it's just a thought, that any sense of being the meditator can just be let go of. However you sense it, however you feel being the meditator, they can just drop away so that there's only meditation without the meditator.